Not always you have to do that many hours. If you can be fresh and do better tomorrow morning, then you tweak it. Things I learned over a period of time, so it just like not that someone wrote and gave me and you have to do this, because work TSS no one can measure.
Correct.
What you do at work, mentally TSS no one can measure. No training peaks, no one. And there's so thin line, Venki, I'll tell you, between laziness and this. Sometimes in the morning you wake up, you're not sure whether I'm tired or whether I'm lazy. So, so that you learn over a period of time. Sports teaches you to be true to yourself. It, it brings in that discipline,
right,
which helps in other fields as well.
I am Vaiki Venki and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest, Vinayak, is a long-time runner, cyclist and triathlete from Goa. He's one of the most inspirational working athletes from Goa who has inspired many youngsters to take up the sport of cycling and triathlon within the state and beyond. I sat down with him when he was here in Bangalore along with his team Equipe Goa for taking part in the BBCH Kolar Express road race. In this episode, he shares his endurance journey through running, cycling and triathlon. We also talk about how sport in Goa has changed over the years and how teams and clubs like Cycling Goa, Xaxti Riders and Equipe Goa are contributing to the growth. This is a chat I really enjoyed. I hope you will too. With that, let us get into my conversation with Vinayak. Welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast, Vinayak. It is a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Vaiki. Vaiki Venki or Lord Venki, what we call famously. So it's great. In fact, it's an honor to be here. Sharing my views with you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Vinayak, let us start by talking a bit about your work. What is work for you?
Yeah. I'm an engineer by profession. So I work in this shipbuilding company called as Goa Shipyard Limited. It's a public sector. It's a defense public sector. So we build ships for Indian Defense, Indian Navy, Indian Coast Guard. These are the major customers. And I'm into a technical department, designing department. So basically engineering, system design, all those things. That's my main work. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So how was your childhood in terms of sports?
Very haphazard. Means I was active, fairly active, but nothing specific. Means there were no goals, no target. Like in summer we used to play cricket, in monsoons football, like how the environment around shaped up, as we say, as kids around played. So that's how we grew up. And then, in school, I then took little bit seriously the sport of cricket for some time, played for a club and...
unofficial national sport.
Yeah, true. Very true. Comes naturally. You see everybody outdoors, like a gully cricket and everything we start. And then I did play for a club for some time up till my higher secondary, like later half. Maybe from 15, 16 years old, but a small incident which took place when I was in my higher secondary, which shut me down completely for a few months. I had a fall with a back injury.
Oh.
And there on this stagnation process started, where other side of me, fat Vinayak or whatever you call, that came up. And then of course where you see like traditional Indian culture, where you go in your higher secondaries or 12th, everybody around you wants you to become a doctor or an engineer or whatever. Even yourself sometimes you think, I want to become, you're into studies, or it's that times, right. I would say. So that phase of my life which took it the different side of a scale.
The injury kind of put you out of
cricket permanently at that time. Means I wouldn't say very good or something, but I had a season, where we used to represent a club, and a specific season time where we used to train and go around, play around different states and all those things. But then that point of time where I was out, and it also coincidentally came with my 12 standards, and that continued, and then I was like,
right, so studies became
priorities. And then of course then you get seat into engineering, and then then I did play a little bit on and off, but nothing like that. And then you go to work. Then just 4 years of engineering, you think, well, get job, what you will do after that, and then you get work, and then that way it moved on.
So you got into your job, and
then immediately after this thing I got into my job, and then work culture started. And in fact I would thank my job, because of which I again came back to some kind of sport. The thing.
So being in Goa, were you never into football? Because it was big in football,
it is.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I told you. Like where I used to stay is a hardcore place for me. Like many of our Indian players coming up from that local village area. So, but football was a monsoon sport in Goa.
Right.
When it rains, when you can't play cricket, you play football. But football, I somehow didn't play that much, because cricket I was fairly good enough and I liked it. Something which which you do well, you somehow automatically start liking it, and that's how it came. And then I went in that direction.
Nice. So then you got into job, and how did you get into cycling? How did the cycling come into the picture?
Before cycling, I got into running. So because I was like, honestly to tell you, after 12th standard I gained weight when I was in engineering. I wasn't feeling good myself. Like I crossed 85 plus kilos, and little awkward. So first thing, like,
what's your weight now?
Now I'm 68 to 70, depending.
85
for my
to
height.
68. Yeah.
I came down to 66. In fact, lowest I would say during TFN time. But so I'm 68 to 70.
And you were quite tall as well.
I'm 6 foot tall. So then the first thing which people around you suggest is the gym. When you're getting, I honestly didn't have any idea of sport as such, other than cricket I played, but nothing else. So I joined gym, but somehow it wasn't helping me. So what happened was, when I joined my office, like within 1 year, our company sponsored one running event. They had sponsored one running event in Goa. And then they had given free tickets for the people from the company to run. So everybody around is like, 5K run, so let's do 5. I never ran, like, specifically. Running was part of warm up in cricket, those things. So running as a 5K run, so fine, let's do a 5K run. Went on, got some running shoes, this, that, and that was the first run what I did, which I still remember. Just managed to finish that 5K.
Which year was this?
It was 2009-10. It was 9-8 and I joined, so it was 1 year, around 2010. That event was there, but that actually inspired me, because that was the first event which is now famously called as Goa River Marathon.
Goa River Marathon.
Yeah, that was the first year, which started in 2009, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember which year, but one of the editions I was there as a part of, Veloscope was doing photography for that. And I came along with the team it was
2009. That was, I remember, but that thing really inspired me, because that's the event where I saw everybody, it was like a festival. People of all age group, running, walking, it's something which really motivated me. And that's the time I was like 21. I couldn't imagine 21 kilometers someone can run, was beyond my imagination, So then I saw this, everybody. Then first thing I asked my colleagues, is it okay to walk in between? They said, yeah, you just go there and come. Then the first thing I set my mind was, next day I am going to do that 21, That was the target. But it was not I have to do that 21. Like how I'll train. That was like, I have to do that 21 was my, and then like immediately that adrenaline is there. So like next few days I started running regularly. Then it came to halt. So, but what I found that running helped me lose my weight. That was like first thing I really lost, and I like felt good. I felt light.
Right.
Probably you may not feel that muscularity, but you'll feel light and you really felt good. So then I continued like maybe 2 to 3 days of running.
Right.
So cycling, what happened was I had like my very good colleague, my mentor. So he had a normal cycle where he used to go into villages of Goa on weekends. So he suggests like running, you could fairly go some distance and come back. So then he said that, like, why don't you try, just Sunday. So I bought one, I remember that Merida, like a
MTB?
kind of a MTB hybrid mixed with little fetish tires. That was the thing which was available. So I picked it up with a backpack, nothing, just normal shorts and this thing. I used to go only Sundays.
Only Sundays.
Cycling, because the thing was I used to travel to work like whole day. Like I used to earlier stay like at around 25 kilometers from the workplace. So morning you travel to work.
So a good one and a half hour commute.
Up and down, 1.5 plus 1.5. So
3 hours in commute.
2 to 3 hours commute, and then work timing. So earlier morning 30 minutes I used to run, walk, whatever, and this on Sundays I used to go cycling with him.
Right.
So in this process,
which year was this?
This was
starting
10,
of cycling?
10 end maybe, because 10 initially I started that run, and maybe mid to end 10 I started this cycling thing.
Right.
And that end, what happened was there used to be one race on October 2nd, cycling race. Which was organized same place where JRM they used to organize every, and that race used to have a big prize money. That race used to have some lakhs of prize money, and all these railways, Sridhar, Savanur, everybody used to participate.
Wow.
So that year I happened to be like, I have a bike, why not go and
Right.
like within there was like after 5-6 kilometers there's a climb. That climb, it was over for me, means they just went off, and somehow I finished that race. Then I looking at those fancy bikes, this, that, that's something. I was just like wondering what is it. I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And then slowly the thing was, something happened to my wheel which I couldn't fix in my local community, and I got in touch with Ajay Dongre, you might be knowing.
Right.
He was into biking, like the guy in Goa, still we call him doctor for cycling.
Correct.
So he was into cycling.
He was the first guy who he's a physics lecturer, physics lecturer, professor.
Yes.
And then he, out of passion for cycling,
he moved into started that workshop, and now like that, out of passion he learned on his own everything, and he could fix anything. If like there was no, now there are many things, but that time he was the only guy who was light into other, like inside of Goa, so he could fix it. So we used to go to him. So with him, then he gave us all this information, some rides. Then he introduced me to this cycling Goa. There was a community which was going on with Terrans and all. So they used to organize these longer rides. No races as such that time. They used to organize these longer rides. So slowly I started going with them. Then somehow with all those guys on road bike, and I somehow I couldn't keep up or what. So first thing, like if you need to have a good bike. So whatever is your physique doesn't matter. You need to have a good bike. So slowly I picked up a road bike, maybe in 2012 or 13, something. I picked up a road bike, and then those kinds of things. But it was always a weekend sport. Never like training as such. It was a weekend sport. I was to just ride with them, and normal days some running. This was going on until what happened was, in those rides I got in touch with Richard, Russell, all these stalwarts.
Right.
I came in touch with them, so riding with them. But then like one of this, I can't remember, maybe 14 or so, 13 or 14, someone told about one BBCH race. And like we 3 of them came from Goa. We put the bike in a Volvo bus, and we came, and there we saw, I think that time Naveen Raj, KKR, that specialized Kinkini team, SK City.
Yeah.
Those were like with their jerseys, all those specialized bikes, something which really, you kicks in. It's nothing that that you wanted to do it or something, but looking at them, that kick, that this thing you get, okay, even I want to race.
Right.
I want to, go there. And then that was the first race which I did. I managed to finish it well. So that was the race I remember. So then, like, things started.
Was it a Nandi race or
no?
It
was not.
Race?
It was a flat race.
All right.
Nandi
On
race
the
was
highway.
Hyderabad highway. All these, but that time only guy I knew in Bangalore was Venkatesh Shivarama, because he was a dealer for Ajay.
Correct.
So he
they work quite closely.
He introduced me to him.
Ajay gets most of the stuff from
Venkatesh.
Venki.
So he told me, you come up. Bangalore is a real racing. That time it was called a racing place where you can really learn with these guys. So we just came down, we did a race, we went back. Then thoughts were always there, you want to do, but I somehow, with me, it didn't last. I don't know whether it's my nature or what. Like today, if I see I want to do this, but it didn't get carried forward, I did that, okay, fine. Still then I continued my normal things, this thing. But what really changed at that time was the 2015 TFN, probably that the time when I met you.
That was the first time I saw you.
Yeah, first time I met you. I had heard about you a lot. I used to read about you doing Kalhati on a single speed. Those topics, all those blogs.
Yeah.
I used to read about you. Even when we came to Bangalore, probably that time I couldn't meet you because I had read about you. But somehow, I don't know whether you were not there or I can't remember, but I couldn't meet you. It was a year before that.
Right.
And next year, when we were just racing, riding in Goa, we met Milam. So he told me about this thing called as TFN. And then looking at these profiles, every day you have to ride. Then like Richard and all, Sundays won't help. Only Sunday riding will not
will not help.
will not help for this.
Yeah.
So now you have paid so much, so at least we have to finish that. You have to, at least complete the race. So then it was tough for me. Like starting 4:30 a.m. in the morning, because the problem was not waking up and all, problem was lights. With cycling it was not that easy. You have to go out, everything dark in Goa, and then not like highways, those interior roads. So somehow we used to do 1.5 hour ride in the morning. Weekend was something like real like slogging training with Richard and Russell. So they were my two gurus that time. So we used to train like really, means within our capacity, whatever maximum we could, nothing, no heart rate, no nothing, just ride. Like you have to ride this much elevation, do this climb 5 times, do this climb 10 times.
Yeah.
That was
old
all school. We were not knowing, honestly, we didn't have an idea of all other things.
Right.
Okay, fine. Garmin, I think probably, or some speedometer was there, and a road bike was there.
Yeah.
Cycling shorts for that comfort, and that's it.
Yeah.
And just you have to ride 100 means you should be strong enough to do. So that kind of a training was going on. And
so from riding just the weekends, you started riding how many days per week? Training
honestly,
for
Venki,
TFN 20?
I didn't have plan like I have to ride 3 days or 4 days. I wanted to ride as much as I can, So, but if I'm tired, I wouldn't ride. So, of course, I have to start from Tuesday 1.5 2 hours. Next day a little bit, and one day I used to run, because I always wanted to do that. 21 thing was in my always, and every year after that I participated in that event.
Right.
GRM was my like regular this thing. So that way we did, I can't say, maybe 3-4 days a week I would say.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and one Sunday. 3 to 4 days and one Sunday, where we...
5 days a week.
5 days a week you ride. Other days were like 1 to 1.5 hours. Sunday we used to go long.
Right.
I used to cover at least 150-200 kilometers. Aram say, but do something like climbs, you do 3-4 times and you used to come back. So that was a... So we went as underdogs for TFN, we 4-5 of them in 2015
so
we came.
TFN came, and Richard was there.
Richard, Russell. Belinda was there. We were 4 of them. We came together. Yeah.
Russell and you.
Yeah, 4 of them.
4 of you.
4 of us.
And boy, it was quite a revelation for the tour itself, that year, what was your experience?
It means we came there without any expectations. We didn't know anything. Our only aim was to complete everyday stages, because like when we read in fact the qualification of the TFN, we should have done this, that, and nothing is that we had done. Like we were like, somehow they allowed us to do, but will we finish? So like, okay, let's take it day by day. Like first day competitive segment, and we were shocked by the results, all three of them. They also won, I also third or something in this thing. So we were very like excited. Day by day we got motivated.
Right.
We didn't come with any expectations, but day by day, like first day, okay, for second day again someone wins, third day again someone wins. So like day by day things got this thing, and then of course then expectations started, like after finishing the tour. Okay, so we have done so well, now what? Now you have to do something.
The tour itself, coming there without any expectations and
nothing.
doing so well.
Yes.
By the end you finished, second overall in open category, and Richard was first or second in Masters.
Richard was first, Russell was second in something like that. And all the Belinda also.
Belinda
so it was something like, what to say, like
it was a fantastic
big
result.
thing, like no, not knowing anything, winning, you feel like something, I'm not so bad. I'm good.
Exactly, because it has riders from all over India. Although it is not like
of course, it's not like a race what you do, like,
correct.
But you have that competitiveness. You have guys, okay, if you're not there, he's there. So that, and I won by 2 seconds. Overall I won by 2 seconds. So it was like, and of course not about winning or losing, the exposure we got, meeting Niels, someone like, all these guys, yourself, and people who really, were into cycling. That's when you saw something, power meters, heart rate monitors, how, the science plays a good role in this.
Right.
So you learn things. And of course, then it's up to you how you apply it, means what way you want to take it, but at least you get that knowledge, and it's not easy riding 9 days every day with that elevation, distances. So you know what soreness is, or what is recovery, what you have to do. So that thing was something really which struck me. And,
so that is something that was a big takeaway for me as well from my first tour. Looking at all the guys, how Rajesh Nair was doing,
correct.
how he was kind of taking care of his recovery, how he's doing in terms of nutrition.
Absolutely.
Before, during and after. And all these little things you notice and kind of make a put it in your mind map and saying, okay, this is what they do, so that we can learn from that that. So it was a fantastic kind of experience.
Really great experience.
So 2015 was done. And then
16 we came back again.
Of course you would.
16, but then between 15 and 16, like many other things, of course, honestly, like this made us popular. This made like everybody go, okay, you've done TFN, you've done so well, and then someone say, oh, you can run also, why don't you try triathlon? So, can you swim? I said, no, I can't swim, but it's okay, you can learn to swim. So that phase, and just I think it was 14, 15, that time after TFN or something in February, this first triathlon that happened in Goa, organized by Enduro Sports, first event, Olympic distance triathlon, where Vicky and all had participated.
Correct.
So we had gone to watch this. And it's amazing to see, like, guys like Pablo and those big guys swimming, cycling, running, and like full charge atmosphere. Like, okay, this is also something which is something which you can try, because of course I could run. Because running was there and cycling. So then what to do with swimming? I couldn't swim. Zero. Means like you send me in water and I would drown. So like, who will teach swimming? So there was a pool 8 kilometers from my place. So we went there with one of my colleagues. So like, we want to learn swimming. So he was like, there are classes for adults, but from 7:30 to 8:30. but 8:30 I have to be at work, which is 20 kilometers. And classes can't be only on Sundays. You have to complete that whole 25 days. So I told him, okay, I'll come from 7:30 to 8, and from there only I'll go. So like, okay, it's up to you. So that's 25 days. Somehow I has to run there with my backpack. So do that
run
thing.
To the pool?
Yeah, one day I would run. Some days on my running day I would run to the pool, or I would go by scooter, whatever. Or go by scooter, run there, do that half an hour, no breakfast. There's nothing. Then straight, because we have a system. It's not like you just come. You have that biometric thing. Like if you're not there at 8:30, it's like you have to be on time.
Okay.
So like, and then immediately rush to the office. So that phase, it was something which then that I could do only out of this motivation, Otherwise I forget why you want to compress so many things in your life. So but that real motivation where people do, okay, I have to do once, let me see what it is, let me learn swimming. So we did that course of 25 days to 1 month. But then also there is a fear, open water is different. So I was very fortunate to meet these people around, like Nisha and, I think Kaustubh Radkar, he was also one good inspiration.
Yeah.
He had a camp, open water, where I just, went once. It was difficult for me. It was totally different. Open water, swimming, and you have to cycle, you have to run, plus work. It was like so many times thoughts came in mind, okay, why? I mean, should we do only cycling? Why? But somehow, like, all these people, pushed around, and I jumped once in the water. So did that, and once then I managed to finish a small distance sprint triathlon in that same event which they organize every year. So then, like others doing now, then something called as Ironman comes into, someone tells you, there is something, this Ironman where you can, so now you can swim 700 meters. Somehow you manage 1.9.
Yeah.
90 running and cycling and 21 you will do. Somehow you manage. So then, then that training really means, then I couldn't just do when I wanted. So then I started, with this training peaks, go through some literature. Then I read that book, Training with Power, from Alan Hunter.
Right.
So even then, all these things, structure stuck me. So like
this was in 2016,
17 that time. I did TFN next year. In 16 also I did TFN, fairly good, means decent enough. Competition probably was tougher, but I did that. And then simultaneously goal was on triathlon also. So to do a triathlon, proper event. So then the structure came into my mind. Then I started, like, I had a timetable every week. Every Sunday I used to ride from Monday to Sunday what I have to do with a long-term plan,
Right.
So I used to, and I prefer it old way, Excel. I like Excel. So Excel, I have Excel in my this thing. So Monday is this thing, Tuesday is this thing. So that way I started, going.
How was your typical training cycle when you were doing that?
That time I had to keep it fixed because of time was limited. So, so Monday's pool used to be closed there. So Monday I would just do an easy run in the evening after work. That was probably rest day because Sundays we used to ride long.
Right.
So then Tuesday morning I used to have a pool session. And then in between that phase, I bought a trainer because it was difficult for me to ride outside and swim because most of these things have to be done in the morning.
Right.
Night you can't do. So then I bought that magnetic resistance trainer. That time direct drives probably were there, maybe expensive or something. So magnetic, that resistance trainer that I put at home. So evening after coming from work, like Tuesday, I would cycle for one, depends on what intensity I plan for that day, I would cycle. Then one of the days I would have all three sessions, like morning because just outside pool there used to be trek. So, something 4:35 I start, I run, and from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock you do pool, eat little and move to work from there itself. And then evening you come. So that was a tiring schedule for me, but that motivation really kept it on till I could do that triathlon.
Right.
then that way it was. But it was all 6 days I used to train with easy days on Monday or rest day. It depends on how I plan. I came across that training stress score, all these things I used to jot down, and this week my training peak shows this, and then in between I purchased some plans from this Training Peaks has this thing,
right.
So I could manage fairly, like I have to do these things, and
what was the event that you were training for?
I was training for that triathlon Olympic distance. For that same event every year in February used to add Euro.
From sprint you wanted to move to?
I had to move to Olympic distance. I was very confident about cycling and running. That's all three things doing together, and simultaneously I would then started thinking of like TFN, and in between there would be half marathon somewhere here, and I was trying to improve my timings,
right.
trying to become a better athlete. Now these things come into picture. Now you have done. You have to do it better. To do better, you have to, have discipline. You have to have that structure, and you should know what you're doing to do better. You just did means you can't just go next time and do it better.
Yeah.
So then I started quantifying things basically, in terms of heart rate or in terms of pace, whatever way. I started quantifying things, and that helped me. I did fairly good enough in that. Olympic distance because of swim. The only thing they were draft legal this thing, because I'm weak in swimming. It's difficult for me to catch up with a group on bike, but fairly you do it. But that was something where I struggled. But then immediately after that, this girl Nisha and all, they were all there. We'll try a Ironman, half Ironman, which we did in 2018 in Colombo. That was the first big event for me.
Right.
Of course, I had done cycling races in between. I had gone to a Manipal race, Bombay. Means I did this. But main goal was this triathlon. So since you do focus. Cycling for that, you might as well do some races, some events.
Yeah.
So that was the way it was going.
So how did Colombo 70.3 go for you?
It was good for me, considering my all things around. I did fairly good for my first race. Bike, of course. Running, I started considering the heat, everything, because I was not I was training the three disciplines, but when these three disciplines are together, it's a different game,
right?
And I was not exposed to that game.
So brick workouts and stuff.
I used to do. I used to ride 90, then run 10. I used to do.
Right.
But somehow getting these three things, it's slightly a different level, which you learn with experience. No matter some coach will tell you, okay, you swim, you run, you ride. But doing this for the three things for the first time, it was little different, and I didn't have that much exposure. I did brick workouts, I did all many things which had to be done.
Right.
But I was like, my only wish was to come out of water safely. Still that confidence was really, because every sea is different, everything, since I was not swimmer. Right. So that was the main intention. So once I was out of water, I managed. I fell in, I can't remember, 5 hours and 20 minutes or something.
5:20 for a first 70.3.
Yeah, that was. But I then remained there only. So second was, I could hardly say a few. But second, I had some incident on the way. Small crash.
What was your second 70.3?
Same. Next year, Colombo.
Okay, next year, 2019 Colombo.
Yeah. Thereafter this COVID things happened, and
everything went to
but I had a wish of doing sub 5. That was my goal. Second, I went prepared. First, I was like, okay, I have to do.
Correct.
I have to do 3 disciplines. I was happy with my results.
First, your goal would be to do, and then to do it better. Right.
So I did preparations in that direction, but it didn't turn up on a race day. I could shave. In fact, my swimming was almost same. When I came out, probably I swam extra. Swimming, especially if you're not really into swimming, you may not be a swimmer from beginning, but if you really don't train for swimming, open water, for that discipline, it's bit dicey. You sometimes you swim off, sometimes something. I can't express it, but some way I don't know.
It doesn't always go according to the flow.
Sometimes waves or something is there. Sometimes too much crowd is there. If you're not a natural swimmer or if you're not trained for that swimming. So swimming, I was more or less. Bike, I was pretty strong compared to last year. I started off well, but like later half I crashed in the sense someone just came across and that broke the rhythm all over. That took some time, but I've managed. But overall, maybe I think 5-6 minutes I saved. I couldn't go sub 5 on that race.
All right.
That was something I wished.
Somewhat like 5:15 or 5:14 like that?
Yeah, something I finished. 5:15 I finished. 5:14, 5:15 I finished.
But that is still a good time.
It is a good time. I was okay. I was content, but my goal was different.
Correct.
So that didn't happen.
Nice. So TFN, how many years did you do?
I did
2 years,
15
right? 15 and 16.
15 and 16
right.
I did. Thereafter I triathlon was my like major thing. I wanted to do, and cycling I would do, running I would do. So it went in that direction. And then
what was like your best memories from 2 years of doing TFN, and what are your takeaways from there?
No, TFN, what is the biggest benefit from TFN? I was exposed to these things.
Right.
I was exposed to real cycling. It's just not that you go out and pedal. If you want to really do well, or if you have certain targets or goals in your life, it's just not, you may cycle every day. You will improve, no doubt you'll improve, but you will not know what you are, you can't quantify things. Right. So I was exposed, I gained a lot of knowledge, and I met people. I could see outside world. I was confined to Goa, so I could see outside world. I could get in touch with people. I came to know about Strava, something which is now so almost social media for sports people. Right. So that's how I got exposed. And of course, fun memories are like lots of fun memories of TFN. Like to like Ooty, especially when you climb Kalhati, that nightmare. Still you have that pain. You feel like right. But yeah, you are happy that you did it. You did it twice.
Yeah. So you talking of Kalhati, you climbed it twice.
Yeah, and then I remember Valpara. I still remember that incident. Rajat was second. In fact, Niels was first. Rajat was 2 minutes ahead of Niels. Was, I think. No, you can't think of it. Right. So Rajat was 2 minutes ahead of him, and last stage was Valparai. So, and the guy behind me was Gaurav Duggal. I still remember that. That 2015, right. And Duggal was like 1 minute or something, not much. So I still remember Richard said, you have to go for it. To maintain your third, I never thought I would win. Right. To maintain your third, you have to just go for it. And you don't carry all this palm tube and everything, you give it to me. You just ride that. I dumped everything onto Richard because he had almost secured his place.
Correct.
And it's almost big climb, Valparai, 14 kilometers odd, I remember.
Yeah.
We just went for it, and I won by 2 seconds over Rajat, so I could get. So that's something which really,
so you covered more than 2 minutes and put 2 seconds.
So, right. I was also surprised with the results, which probably he fed up.
I think the competitive segment itself was some 11.5 kilometers or something.
Valpara.
But it is one of the most beautiful climbs.
Yes, really nice.
Which unfortunately you won't be able to savor until you finish the competitive segment. And it's a fantastic climb, and I remember you doing really well. I think that year or some year later, Dipankar doing really well,
correct,
and all that.
Correct.
So that climb has a special place. Unfortunately, we're not able to kind of repeat Valparai because the stage there cannot accommodate.
Slightly difficult.
Cannot accommodate like 100 people.
Correct.
But wow, fantastic! One of the best climbs.
One of the best climb. Beautiful climb. You can see down. It's really nice, smooth surface. And after that, also it goes on till the the hotel point.
Yeah, lot of climbing to be done after Atakatti, where we end the competitive segment. But amazing place.
Yeah.
Super. Those were your memories from TFN.
Yeah.
But coming to triathlon and training for triathlon, and so you have a hard, it's not like a very flexible work thing, right?
No,
you have 8:30 punch in.
8:30 punch in, punch out. It's unlimited.
Punch out is not.
It's not defined because how this, especially when you're working with defense, a lot of other than value added work, there are a lot of non-value added work, like lots of paperwork, especially when you're in bureaucracy, lots of letters going, so those things come up
Public
almost
sector,
after 4-5 p.m. Have you sent this, why it's not gone, what is so I never, even when I do 2 or 3 sessions in a day, my main thing I used to finish in the morning. So that is like, if it happens, I'm lucky,
right?
Because sometimes after a long day you travel back home, might as well just. Then I felt like there's no point in just sitting and doing that one. You're just burning it out more,
right?
So that
you're
also then helped me.
Stress,
it's not always you have to do that many hours. If you can be fresh and do better tomorrow morning, then you tweak it. So that those things I learned over a period of time, so it just like not that someone wrote and gave me and you have to do this, because work TSS no one can measure.
Correct.
What you do at work, mentally TSS no one can measure, no training peaks, no one. That yourself you will have to somehow convince yourself.
And say, okay, is it?
And there's so thin line, Venki, I'll tell you, between laziness and this. Sometimes in the morning you wake up, you're not sure whether I'm tired or whether I'm lazy. So, so that you learn over a period of time. Of course, coach helps you. You need someone to tell you, what exactly are
it's funny that you mentioned that, right? This is a very important thing that when you are when you wake up and you feel like you're not up for it, right? What is it? Is it like you are really tired
or is it something you have to sleep that day, laziness, something comes in your mind? But it depends on how you express. Now if you tell your coach, oh, it was a long day yesterday, and so he will tell, I think you should take it easy today, or you do this tomorrow. But then sometimes you yourself also have to realize, no, it's not that. If I
have to be mentally so clear, and you have to be so honest with yourself, and only then you will be able to distinguish between whether you are lying to yourself, whether it is actually tired and you need that rest, or you are being lazy, right?
No, that's what sports teaches you. You have to be true to yourself. Even in cycling today, you go speeds are virtual. I always tell, now I just talked with these kids. I rode at 40 kilometers per hour. That's virtual. You have to be true to yourself. You know what is your effort, what you have done yesterday. Nowadays power meter will tell you, your heart rate will tell you. But sports teaches you to be true to yourself. It brings in that discipline,
right,
which helps in other fields as well.
So you kind of developed that nature to flexibility, being a little in tune with yourself. And while also making sure the work is getting done, both in terms of workouts and the work. Right.
I may have gone wrong at many times, but I tried to learn, every day, and every year I try to better myself, and I was fairly successful enough. Honestly, I'm content. I don't at least now I don't have big goals. Of course, last year I went to nationals also. So at this age I tried going to nationals. I was like I spoke to you, 35. I asked you, Venki, is the cutoff? Am I fine to race? So we had a selection in state. So I managed to get selected. And I participated in cycling nationals.
So 2021 nationals.
Yeah, this
that one?
Haryana, Kurukshetra,
Correct.
Peowa, sorry,
Yeah.
nationals.
So
I participated.
what was that experience like?
It was good. It was a great experience. To what I saw. That's really the hard work what the kids put in.
Right.
Especially these guys like Naveen, John, and means that's a dedication. That's a different level of dedication. Okay,
Right.
You may call working athlete or non-working athlete, whatever. You need that. You really need that discipline and dedication. So all these guys you can see there. For me it was same. Means I had to divert little bit of triathlon and work towards cycling leading towards the race. I did my best whatever I can leading up to race. Unfortunately it didn't end the way I was involved in that
Crash. That big
just a big crash. I was also a part of it. But till then I could stay there. I could be there. But
nice. So now you have started cycling and you have done so much. You have gone into triathlon and gained so much experience and all that, right? So over the years, what are the changes that you see in cycling and triathlon in Goa?
Lot drastic improvement in Goa. I would say triathlon also not so much, but in cycling it's like
it is like a sea change, right?
Sea change completely.
So because I remember
we were very few guys,
very few guys.
You could count, you could tell 3-4 from
you
south.
Could count on both hands.
You remember your whole team had come once, we were 3-4 of them we called from here. Then hardly 8-10 of them real
that was in
cyclists.
like 2017.
Yes. So off late this is, and COVID has changed. COVID has changed drastically cycling scene in Goa.
From what I from an outsider perspective, what I see it as is you guys, you, Richard and Russell and all these guys, all you guys, doing well at TFN and
it motivates. I've seen many young kids now taking. Okay, forget about people taking for recreation. That is the one aspect of it. But young kids taking, and right now here there are 4-5 of them who have come for their first race tomorrow. So they take it seriously.
You guys doing well has kind of put cycling in everyone's mind. And then slowly with time, and clubs, Cycling Goa has started doing some events. And like Tour of Goa and stuff like that, and the races in the community races, it started.
That's a big thing which has happened. Every fourth Sunday, simple race we have. You just come, nothing doing. You just come in the morning, sign a sheet, and stand at a start line. Every fourth Sunday we have it. One fourth Sunday it is a criterium. Next month it is a time trial up the climb. Something this way we have started, and kids coming and doing is something which is.
And now with Equipe Goa coming into the picture, and then Xaxti Riders,
big club. That's right.
And I've seen
you just go head out.
There's explode.
No single day where I travel to work. No single day you will see without a cyclist passing by. You will have a full that airport road of cyclists, and whatever way. I'm not saying really competitive cyclists, but all kinds of cyclists you have seen. Even in triathlon, these guys have started association with especially swimming classes. That's what lacked. I would say not only in Goa but most part of India. People miss that triathlon because of swimming. So that swimming culture as a kid is not so famous in India. They'll have a good professional kids or no swimmers. There's no, people don't learn to swim of passion like other sports you will go. People don't do that in India, but now it is changing. Now people are going into sea, going into the pools to learn swim. That is also coming up as a sport, which is good.
So where do you see the sport going from here?
No, cycling, I definitely see good futures for the kids. At least I feel they'll maybe few years down the line you could see a Goan cyclist doing well at nationals. That is our wish with this team. That is the ultimate goal. The main goal of setting up this Equipe Goa. We, of course, senior riders are there, part of a team just to bring up these guys.
Guide them.
To guide them. And so far we have been successful last 2 years. A couple of kids are doing really well. And we hope we could, take them to a certain platform where they can probably then take over.
The kind of work that you guys are doing is really commendable.
I'm really grateful for this Ajay and Gaurav, Kadesh and this team who have not only invested resources, they've invested their time, which is these guys are busy guys, and for them so someone coming up and investing with some interest, it's something
awesome,
grateful to be.
So it's been fantastic chat, Vinayak.
Thanks.
So what is to kind of conclude the session, what are some of the tips that you would give working athletes or young athletes to do well?
Young athletes, of course, should have a goal, some dedication towards a sport if they want to take sports seriously. And it's never too late. Even if you are working, it's never too late in anything. Now there are so many opportunities. Now masters events have started, and it's good to be competitive. You don't have to be you can be competitive to yourself. You can be good of yourself every day. So discipline is the key. I always tell that if you have no one can stop you. You should have that discipline, and then everything follows. Dedication, motivation, inspiration, everything you get. But you have to be true to yourself and be disciplined, and then that's it.
Awesome.
Nothing much. Not a big deal. Not a rocket science. You can't have coach, no problem. You start, you learn, you will get people and move on. That's it. Have fun.
Awesome, Vinayak. Thank you for taking the time and sharing your journey.
Thanks a lot, Venki. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That was my conversation with Vinayak. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts, please consider subscribing to the channel and supporting the podcast. You can subscribe to the channel on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.